Good morning. This is your wake up call.
It's time to wake up, Wisconsin.
Wake me up! All right, rise and shine, Sleeping Beauty. Come on, hop, hop, hop.
This is the Wisconsin Sports Wake Up Call on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Wake up, Daddy's home.
Here's your host, Josh Albrecht.
And was a part of a lot of winning baseball.
There's a base hit. That's going to get down in the corner. Churio is off to the races. Churio being waved home. And the throw goes to second base. It's an RBI double for Bryce Terang. And he shoots one to right field. Down, a base hit. Coming in to score, Terang. And Garrett Mitchell keeps on cooking.
Pratt still looking for his first career big league homer.
And he sends that one in the air. Left center field. Got some carry. And there is number one. Cooper Pratt is on the board.
You said you had never been to Milwaukee until as
Vaughn sends one left center. And it's gone. Oh, my goodness. He's gone Hank Aaron on us. And Ortiz down the left field line. It is out. Joey O. A line drive missile out of here. It's a 3-run home run. And there it is. It's a strikeout. Anderson strikes out 3. And on July 20th, the Brewers have the best record in Major League Baseball.
Well, you love hearing that, don't you?
Fantastic.
Brian Anderson on the call there. The Brewers, with their 63rd win, are the best team in the majors. I got to say, I don't exactly know how we got here, but I love that we did. The Brewers beat the Mets 8-3, get their 63rd win. Tons of things to talk about, but hey, that's a wonderful way to wake up on a Tuesday morning. This is the Wisconsin Sports Wake Up Call. I'm Josh Albrecht, happy to be back alongside Aaron Morris. Aaron, glad to have you back, bud.
How's it going?
Good. We got tons to talk about. My vacation, your vacation, your 40-year tradition in the family.
I do have to make a correction. It's 49 years was this year.
I'm sorry. Here I was saying 40. It's been almost 50 years.
So 50 years next year.
Wild.
Yeah.
That's wild. Tons of things to get into today, and we want you to be with us along for the ride on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line, 414-677-1250. And in case you missed it, let me help you out there. The Brewers, as I mentioned, did really well. That's what happened.
Hey, what happened?
Yeah, what happened was the Brewers won 8-3 in the matchup of Mizorowski against Peralta. First and foremost, we didn't know for a long time that this was happening. They made a little switcherooski here.
Yeah.
Having Miz go before Sproat.
We were going to get the trade matchup. We were going to get Sproat and Peralta.
And was that surprising to you when that happened? I was a little surprised because I thought we were giving him like as much time as possible.
So, I mean, apparently they thought he was ready, but then apparently he wasn't because he came out after 4 innings and Pat Murphy said that they were a little worried because his legs weren't there.
Yeah, well, he also said prior to the game, Adam McCalvy had it. They actually showed the tweet on the broadcast with him essentially saying they're ramping him back up and they want to make sure they're doing it the right way. Kind of what slow playing it. Again, I'm not mad at that, especially if it's a situation where the bats decided to show up in the game, right? I mean, he had a lead, a comfortable lead. If you don't feel like you need to pitch, push him another 2 or 3 innings, good. I was all for that. I was absolutely fine with that. That's the beauty of having an offensive lineup for once. And, when you're getting to a pitcher, I think the funnier thing is that it was to Freddie Peralta, which we're going to talk about coming up in How'd You Sleep a little bit. But just teasing that, a lot of people were saying, bring back Freddie. Bring back Freddie.
Not me.
Bring back Freddie.
Not me.
Now, I'm just curious if that changed for anyone.
Not
seeing
me.
How he did back in American Family Field. A few other things that happened in the game last night. Cooper Pratt hit his first career home run. That was awesome. You heard BA on the call there.
What happened?
Yeah, that's what happened. Also, Vaughn finally homered again. First time since June 8th in Vegas, which again, how often are we talking about that Vegas series?
That was the first game where it went crazy and had the towering shot off Ashby, and the game just kept going. That was that game. That was the homer. So the game that was kind of flubbed, I guess. That's the last time he homered.
Now, how much of that, too, because I know there's going to be arguments made that happened, or that was the last one that happened before last night, because he's not seeing enough playing time and being confused on why that's the case with Vaughn.
I mean, his power has kind of been sapped since the end of last year. He had the one in the postseason, but it's not like he has been hitting home runs like he did when he first got to Milwaukee. He hasn't been doing that since about August last year. So it's been about 1 year that his power has been completely sapped. Part of the issue might be that he's not playing a lot. Part of the issue might be that he had a wrist injury, to begin the year. So maybe some of that power got taken out when he had that wrist injury and hasn't fully recovered yet.
The other big note that I made here was just how much do you love seeing Chourio and Turang back to back? Like, how many times this year? I don't think we focused on it enough. But if it's like Chourio gets a double and then Turang brings him home, or Chourio's on and then Turang has a double down the line and it brings Chourio in, like seeing that, especially early in the game, is so nice. It's so good. Like when those two are on back to back, it kind of reminds me of like the Kane and Yelich duo, right? When we had Lorenzo Kane starting off, lead off, and then you'd have Yelich back when he could hit, would bring him home, and you would be like, man, this 1-2 punch. I wouldn't say that it necessarily compares to the Braun Fielder.
Yeah, they're more power.
That was okay. We need to pitch around Braun. Crap, there's Fielder. This is you can get a guy on, and then the other one's going to bring him home, which is fantastic. I love seeing that, especially early in the game. But
both guys, by the way, have over an 800 OPS now as well, to go with Garrett Mitchell and Jake Bauers. And Chourio will probably become, I think he'll become statistically eligible after tonight. I think.
Okay.
He should at least. So then he would qualify in terms of his stats. So they would have 4 guys of an OPS over 800. Pretty good.
Is that good?
That's good.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good.
And then yet the big story again, the pitching matchup, Miz and Freddie. We talked about Miz. We'll talk a little bit more about Freddie in How'd You Sleep. This was the first time Freddie had been back at American Family Field. They said on the Mets broadcast that a date that was circled on the calendar, and yet he'd probably like this one back, which had me thinking, man, I don't know. I don't know about Freddie Peralta if he's the answer or even a answer for the Milwaukee Brewers. But we will get to that in the next segment. Continuing.
Hey, what happened?
Yeah, what happened? The Packers extended Devontae Wyatt. That was great news.
Kind of out of nowhere, it seems. I was just scrolling last night. I was like, wait, what?
3 years, $57 million. I love it. I absolutely love it. I think that the Packers needed Wyatt. I think that there was proof that when Parsons went down last year, that was obviously absolutely terrible, but they were still staying in games. And then when Wyatt went down too, it was like, okay, now we're toast. So I think that Wyatt proved that he was an important piece to that defense. And I absolutely love having him in the extension. The only thing that was confusing to me was I thought we were focusing on Kraft. I thought it was like Tucker Kraft was the next big name up.
Yeah,
and
maybe
so I'm
he's
still
asking
seeing
too
that
much.
going,
maybe they're just
hey, we're doing everything but Tucker Kraft.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, he's on the last year of his deal. It's not like they have a year and a half to get this done. They have the rest of this season to get this done, or else he's going to be a free agent. Then they have to bid against everybody else. On Devontae Wyatt, I found this chart yesterday on Twitter. It's at @fball_insights. This is from February 4th. It's the defensive interior pass rush and run stop percentiles over the last 2 years. And you could arguably say that Devontae Wyatt's a top 5 interior defensive lineman based on these win rates. His run stop rate is one of the highest in the league. There, he's a top 10 there. And then in pass rush win rate, he is probably about top 15, it looks like. But it's one of those quadrant things where you get the lines down the middle, the line going each way, horizontal and vertical. And the only guys that are higher than him on that, that I don't remember the math term for it, that main line that goes through would be Simmons, Hayward, Williams, and Buckner. Those are the only 4 that are higher up in that right corner than him.
I mean,
would you ever believe that?
No. But I shouldn't say no, because I mean, obviously we noticed his impact.
Right.
If you can notice the impact, I feel like then there's something to go along with that.
Some of these guys are better at pass rush, but way worse at run stopping, and vice versa. But Devontae Wyatt has been up there with the top 5 guys in the league in terms of win rate. I would have never believed that. And I guess it's a good reminder for me of how good Devontae Wyatt was playing the last couple of years.
So Devontae Wyatt gets a 3-year extension. Do you see him being a Packer for all 3 years?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I don't know his age off the top of my head, but
I think he's a little older.
Was he 24 when he came onto the team? I think he was 23 or 24 maybe when 28. He was drafted. Yeah. So I would say yeah. I mean, he'll be his age 30 year in the final year of this deal. Is that correct? Are they extending past this year so he'd be 31?
I think he'd be 31. I don't see him playing the 3rd year.
Okay.
But I'm absolutely good with him getting with us getting another 2 years out of Devontae Wyatt.
Yeah, I feel like it's a great deal for the Packers because they probably have set it up to where they can get out on the 3rd year of that extension. So in 4 years, when he's turning 31, they can get out. They hate 30-year-olds. But it also puts them in a spot where they have him under contract for 31. And if he's playing well at 30, they can keep him at 31 with a number that would probably be relatively nice, relatively low compared to other interior defensive linemen come 4 years when the cap is bigger and guys want more percentage of that.
Also, moving on from the Packers, but still staying in the world of football and a former Packer.
Hey, what happened?
Tons of news anytime that Aaron Rodgers posts to Instagram, but specifically, he posted photos with his family. I saw Matt Schneidman essentially screenshot all 3 photos and go, hey, just in case you guys didn't see it, Aaron Rodgers is hanging out with his family. He said it's another bonding week, #fam.
He always adds that extra hashtag too. Did you see that?
Yeah, that's like his trademark.
Yeah, hashtag fam, hashtag. Yeah.
Right. I don't, man, I'm not going to lie. I don't care about the fact, like all of the drama around if he was like close with his family or not close with his family, or maybe now he's like working on relationships with his family, like all of that, or if he's married or if he's not married or what, all of that is like not my problem anymore.
Okay, so that's my thing on these athletes, and like, so you probably won't find a bigger Aaron Rodgers fan than me.
Right.
I don't care.
I'm surprised that you don't care.
Like, why
if you're a huge fan of the man,
why would I care though?
Well, because you love the player.
Yeah, I don't care what he does in his off time. Like all of like the darkness retreats and the ayahuasca, all that stuff. It's like, I don't care. I mean, do we care what Randall Cobb and Jordy Nelson or, you know, David Bakhtiari or TJ Lang or
right?
Do we care what they do in their off time? Why should we care?
I mean,
we don't know him.
Listen, we might have if they were doing that type of stuff.
I mean, maybe.
I'm just saying. The family thing, though, was always interesting to me.
Do you care what Giannis does off the court?
I did.
When it comes to Milwaukee.
When he was here, if he was doing, when he was
going, city of Milwaukee, though.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. Do you care that he goes out and, like, would you care if he just went to South America and did ayahuasca for a weekend?
And he was a Milwaukee Buck?
Yeah.
Probably.
Why?
Because he was playing for me.
Right. But It doesn't affect you and your fandom.
I mean, yeah, but it still was something that I took notice of. Even when he was playing basketball during the offseason, it was something that I was taking notice of. If he was going to the state fair with his family, it was something I was taking notice of. When you are the superstar face of the franchise of a Wisconsin sports team,
but I think
then you're going to have that focus. The difference
taking
is
notice is different though than caring, I guess. Like,
well,
like
to me,
the
they're one and the
outrage,
same.
like the outrage around it, like, or the curiosity around it. I mean, like if Giannis wasn't married and he had his girlfriend, and let's say, like when he wasn't married, like, did you care if he was getting married or not to his now wife? Like, were you like, ooh, I don't know, is Giannis ever going to get engaged? Is he going to get married? Like, did you care? Why should we care? That's their personal life.
I don't think
we're watching them on the court, on the field.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I don't think I would have gotten angry like some people got angry, but I'm definitely interested in the news.
Okay.
That's the big thing for me. The second they're gone, like everyone was sending me when I was out, everyone was sending me the clips of Giannis going into the Heat locker room for the first time and everything else. I was like, I don't want to see this.
Yeah, I guess
don't care about this.
It's
the same thing with Rodgers. It's like Rodgers, okay, he's now been on 2 different teams since he was a Green Bay Packer. He's not our girlfriend. He's not our wife anymore. I'm not, okay, good. Do whatever. Like, now if he's going in caves or hanging out with his family or doing whatever, I don't care. Yeah. I think it was just when he was a Packer, we wanted to see more of him being with his family and less spending time in caves, and that wasn't the case. And so it got people upset.
I guess I draw a stark line there. I just don't care what he does off the field. I don't care what any athlete, I shouldn't say that. Most of the stuff athletes do off the field, I don't care about.
Well, a lot of people, for some reason, did care about the fact that Aaron Rodgers is hanging out with his family.
187,000 likes in 10 hours on his Instagram post.
Yeah. Wild.
Big time numbers.
Again.
And if you go in the comments, by the way, bad teammate Aaron Rodgers has a lot of teammates supporting him in those comments.
Again. Good. All right.
Saying,
moving on.
Most of them Packers.
Hey, what happened?
What happened, in case you went to bed last night, which you should have, the Cubs lost in 10 innings to the Tigers.
Womp, womp, womp.
It was 5-3 in the 8th, and then the Cubs tied it up at 5-5, and I went, here we go. And then, boom, Tigers come away with the win, which was fantastic to see. And now the Cubs sit 7 games back. At what point do we start looking at the standings with the Cubs and going, what's a safe number? What's a safe number? If they get up to 10 wins above the Cubs, if the Cubs are 10 games behind, if they're 12 games, is there a number to where you're going to go, I feel really comfortable in the division right now?
Okay, so let's say
because I'm not there.
Cardinals and Pirates
are
both 11.5 back. I think if the Cubs were there, about 12 back by the end of the month, I would probably feel really comfortable. 10, maybe not so much by the end of July.
I'm definitely hate watching right now. I'm paying attention to what the Brewers do and what the Cubs do. I'm definitely not just paying attention to what the Brewers are doing right now, but it's still way too far away.
Have you flipped your thoughts? Are you most worried about the Cubs now? Not the Cardinals anymore?
Well, yes, but I'm still worried about. I will still.
They're 11.5 back.
I know, but it's just,
they're not good.
It's trauma. It's trauma, Aaron.
They're not good. They've never been good.
You weren't alive for this. You weren't paying attention at the time. It's different.
I was alive. I was.
You don't know. You think you know. You don't know.
I was 14 when the trauma happened.
All right, fine. All right. That's what happened. There were other things that happened, but those are the important things that happened, what you need to know. Coming up next, how'd you sleep? We got some people on the Nicolay Law talking text line asking us, how was our weekend up in the Northwoods? We were both up north.
We were.
Different parts. Also,
together.
A ton of people.
No, I'm just kidding.
Right. Also, a ton of people who were tweeting at me and commenting on things and telling me what up north is. You weren't here for that debate. We'll talk about that and much, much more when we come back on the Wisconsin Sports Wake Up Call. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Baseball coverage on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network is presented by Xfinity. Score the most reliable Wi-Fi, one price, 5 years, guaranteed. Xfinity. Imagine that. Welcome back to the Wisconsin Sports Wake-Up Call. I'm Josh Albrecht, Aaron Morris alongside. We are having so much fun with all of the technology today.
Yeah, that's the word.
Technology.
Oh, fun.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Both words. All right. This is where we ask, hey, how'd you sleep? How'd you sleep last night? I will tell you, I slept pretty darn well, Aaron. I did. And one of the reasons was that I wasn't breathing in any smoke. We had on the Nicolay Law fan talking text line, 414-677-1250. Annie said, how was your trip up north, in quotes, over the weekend? Was it smoky? Did he have any tiny rhinies? Did not have any shorties up there. Not exactly sure even why. Should have. Have you ever had a Rhinelander shorty? Little?
No.
Oh,
I have not.
They taste like the North Woods. But it was a great time. We had only one day of clear enough air quality to be able to go out on the boat and do things. It wasn't terrible the rest of the time. It was the worst on the day on Thursday evening when we were driving up, when I know things were pretty rough down here. But it was just, we had the not even 2-year-old kid. And then my 90-year-old grandma. And I was like, okay, well,
yeah.
There are the two people that are not going to be sitting outside breathing in terrible air.
Yeah.
So we did spend a decent amount of time inside, but we still had a blast, and we got to hang out, and we watched the Brewers kick butt over the Marlins over the weekend, which was also awesome. So had a good time. Would have loved to have the air quality be a little bit better. I was definitely cursing Canada a little bit, but it was still like I got my sunset. I got to go out on the pontoon boat and still be able to enjoy that time. So
just
that was
another
good.
reason not to like those people up there.
I mean, and then you hear like, well, it's not, they didn't do it on purpose. Well, yeah, I understand, but still, give me a break.
They haven't figured out a way to solve the issue that has been plaguing them for the last 5 summers.
True.
I mean, it happens every year, and then every year they're like, oh, look, a fire.
Well, and the weird thing is that like I was talking to my my aunt up there, my Aunt Joanne up there as well, and she was saying she didn't remember at all, like growing up, that ever being a thing, like ever being the summers are ruined due to air quality because of Canada forest fires.
Yeah, it's only happened. I mean, didn't happen 10 years ago,
right? So what changed? I don't know. How was your trip? Because so I'm
good.
in the if you're
good.
Listening across the state, I was in the Rhinelander, Minocqua area is where I was.
Mm-hmm.
You were also 3 to 4 hours north.
Yeah.
But nowhere near me.
I was like an hour and a half west of you, up near Five Field, Park Falls, Phillips, kind of in that area. Wednesday and Thursday wasn't great in terms of the smoke. Wednesday was probably the worst. Wednesday night was probably the worst. Thursday was pretty bad, but it started clearing up. Friday was fantastic where I was. It was clear, blue skies, sun. So we were able to do some swimming and get in the water and such. But Wednesday and Thursday, more of an indoor day. I wouldn't say we stayed indoors, but it was more of an indoor day and games and just hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. We're both back. But thank you for the question, the concern, Annie. We had a great time.
Do you have it up north? Like, the up north, and he puts up north in quotes.
So when you were out, we had a conversation. Charlie and I were talking about this. Charlie filled in for you a little bit. And we were talking about what is up north, right? Like Jeremy in Wausau chimed in and he said, anything north of Wausau. And I was like, right, because you live in Wausau. But a lot of people disagree. As I was driving, I definitely felt like anything, like once you were past Stevens Point and making your way north of Stevens Point, it seemed like things started to change.
Okay.
You had to get past Stevens Point for me before it got there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would make fun of you for that. Not me. I think if you put a strict limit on up north, you're just wrong and you don't get an opinion on it. That's what I think. Because I think up north isn't a highway. I don't think it's a horizontal line across the state. I don't think you can put a line.
Well, that's also wrong.
No, because I think okay, so like
everyone has a different line, but you put a line.
Okay, so like I'll say like the people that live in Illinois, Chicago, and they come up to Lake Geneva, that is not up north. Lake Geneva is not up north. That's north for them, but that's not up north. But most of the stuff in Wisconsin, so like if someone was in let's say Milwaukee, Racine, and they went to Stevens Point, that can be up north.
Now I got to go further.
I think, but I think because up north for me is like it's a vibe. It's a way of living. So like if you have a cabin out in the woods near Stevens Point, that can be up north for you. I don't think it has to be a certain degree of the world.
I understand the argument. I do. You're
like
wrong,
up north
but I understand.
Up north is just kind of like your vibe.
Right.
And people have cabins all over the place in remote forests in Wisconsin.
Yeah. Right. That to me was kind of the whole reason why it came up, is because when you say to people, I'm going up north, then it became, we're up north. Right. Which is why when people said like Green Bay or Door County, that's not up north, because you'd never say, I'm going up north. Where are you going? Green Bay. No, you would just say, I'm going to Green Bay. When you say up north, you're doing it because you're going to an area of the state that is smaller. That is
a little bit secluded.
Right.
There are parts of Stevens Point area that are secluded. Listen, yeah. I lived around the area. I can tell you there's plenty of areas that can be considered. Sure.
All right. Listen, go back, listen to the podcast, Aaron. We talked about all this. We're not getting back into it. We're talking about Freddie Peralta, who the 262, literally 2 minutes into me saying, I don't know if we want to bring back Freddie Peralta, talking about how he slept. He said, bring back Freddie. Right away. Just bring back Freddie. Is this a situation to where we really think it's the uniform, that it's the organization? And also, what is it about Freddie that makes us go, this is the guy we want back? Think about all the players that we've moved on from that we go, boy, did the Brewers move on from him at the right time. Wow, Matt Arnold knows something. They got a crystal ball. You know, even David Stearns back in the day, it was, wow, how do these guys know the right time to move on? And yet I've seen a lot of people say, yeah, bring back Freddie. Even after last night's performance, you still have people like the 262 that say, nope, bring him back. I was just very interested in that notion. I don't think Freddie's the guy.
Yeah, me either. I've never wanted him back. I didn't really like him on the Brewers. He was never an ace. He was deemed an ace, but it was never an ace. And he is worse. He is arguably worse than Brandon Sproat this year. Freddie Peralta now has a 5.01 ERA. Sproat's at 5.16, relatively similar. Sproat a 1.37 whip to Freddie's 1.46. So you take those, even them out. You're acquiring Brandon Sproat to make a World Series run?
Well, I think the big difference is too, like we saw Lance McCullers on the mound last night in relief.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know exactly what the plan is that the Brewers plan on using. I don't even know that the Brewers know what their plan is to use him, but it could just be he's an innings eater. He's a temporary starter. He's not the guy that you're relying on in October, but he's a guy that is giving those guys a break. I'm all for that. If that is the move and that's the play that Matt Arnold and the Brewers are choosing to make going through the rest of July and before the trade deadline, they get those guys to get them through August and September so that they're ready September 18th to flip that switch back on and go, ham through October. If that's the plan. If that's the plan and you can trade him for a bag of beans, sure, then bring Freddie back. But I think that if you bring in Freddie back, you're not bringing him back to be a postseason starter. I think you'd be bringing him back knowing, all right, this is the type of season Freddie had. Now let's get him to eat some innings.
Yeah, I just don't think. I think that's a waste of a trade. I don't think you You need guys to eat innings. Like, if I'm trading for somebody, I want them to improve my World Series chances. I'm not trading for Freddie Peralta, for instance, to pitch 5-6 innings a game for the next 2 months and then saying, in the postseason, we don't really need you to start. You can kind of just hang out off our playoff roster. That wouldn't make sense to me. If I'm making a trade, it's to have a guy that's going to be pitching in the postseason. I think a lot of people want Freddie Peralta back because, one, he's a likable dude. He's a fun dude. He's a nice dude. He's been with the team since he was 21 years old or whatever when he made his debut in Colorado. And two, I think Wisconsinites like mediocrity. They're comfortable with it. And Freddie Peralta is a mediocre pitcher.
I disagree with that. I don't think they're comfortable with it, especially Brewers fans. That's why we're so agitated and aggravated, even though we're the best team in baseball.
If we ask the question right now, would you trade your favorite 5 prospects in the Brewers system for a World Series this year? I bet you a heavy majority of Brewers fans would say no.
Really?
Yes.
I disagree.
We did this a few weeks ago when we were talking about
everyone just wants a World Series win, Aaron. Everyone. And they all want one.
I bet you the majority of people texting in would say that they would not give up Jesus Made, Luis Pena, Andrew Fisher
to win a World Series.
Yeah.
No.
I guarantee you.
No, they would.
I guarantee you.
No, they absolutely would. But also,
we talked about
about
going all in, and nobody wanted to go all in. I had to call the talking text line loser talk.
Okay, but also that's because you couldn't guarantee a World Series win. That was the conversation. Was you trade these guys for Skubal? That's not enough.
I don't know. I think
see
people
another
like
holes.
I think people like winning games in July. They love this feeling of winning games in July and being the best team in the regular season.
It is a good feeling.
First person texting in right now, 608. Top 5 prospects for a World Series? No. Very simple. I'm telling you.
Well, I'm
telling you. 90% of people who would text in right now would say that they would not trade their 5 most favorite prospects, the 5 guys that they think are going to be the best. They would not trade it for a World Series. I'm telling you, that's how people think.
I don't understand. My brain doesn't understand.
I don't understand it either. I want a World Series. I would do anything for a World Series, including trading Made, Pena, Fisher, Letson, and name anybody else. Let's say Jet Williams in your top 5, whatever, whoever the top 5 is. I would do it for a World Series.
Agreed.
It would not be my favorite thing to do.
Right.
But I want a World Series.
Right. I would do it. I would 100% do it.
Listen, I believe it would also suck to lose all 5 of those players. But we're talking about a World Series.
See, now more people trade the whole farm for a guaranteed World Series. And he said, I would do the trade for World Series. B. Hintage in West Dallas. I'm all in. Trade him. So your burner phone in the 608 said no. Fine. Otherwise, everyone else is on board. This is what I'm saying.
What
people want a World Series?
What
Aaron.
if we traded? Fine. What if we switch the question to going all in? Going all in for trading a bunch of top prospects. Let's say Jesus Made. Let's say Jesus Made is off the table. We're talking about trading for Tarek Skubal, and it's Luis Pena and Andrew Fisher.
But that's the thing. We've had this conversation. We've had this conversation a bunch. That isn't enough. That's the big problem. A lot of people look at what the Dodgers are and they go, I understand what MLB Network's saying. Tarek Skubal on the Brewers is not enough. That's not enough of an answer to guarantee us a World Series. So they don't want to mortgage the future for a Skubal. If there was...
See, and that's, I don't understand. And you're not mortgaging the future trading 2 or 3 prospects. They've the best prospect system in baseball. They're loaded even if they do trade 3 of their top 5 guys.
Yeah, I don't... That's the thing about these what-if questions, though. You're saying for a World Series as if that can be a guarantee, and it can't. And that's why once you change that to a specific player, everything changes. And then people go, well, I don't know that I do that. You can call it loser mentality, but it's not a guarantee. You're asking them to take a chance. It's all risk. So you're asking them to risk the future for a guy that still might not be enough to get them to the promised land. That's the difference. That's why I can't get down with that argument. The question, though, being about Freddie Peralta. Is Freddie Peralta a good enough piece that you want the Brewers to go and get after? We talk about Skubal, right? Okay, there's one side of the coin of people that say we should trade for Tariq Skubal, trade prospects. And then there's the other of, well, we just need arms. Yeah, let's bring Freddie back. We want to know, what's your opinion on that? Do you want Freddie Peralta back?
More people are saying yes, they would trade it than I thought, but a lot of people are anti-trading your top 5 prospects for a guaranteed World Series.
Oh boy, we also have Aaron's crazy question, which you can answer as well.
I'm just
414-677-1250. When we come back, it's going to be the most electrifying sound of the day. I'll give you a clue. It's a home run from yesterday's game. This is the Wisconsin Sports Wake Up Call. I'm Josh Albrecht. That's Aaron Morrison. We are live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
It's time for
The most electrifying.
Sound of the Day.
The most electrifying.
Brought to you by Best Electric. Learn more at bestelect.com. Don't stress. Connect with the best.
No, it's in my locker. But
Looking for his first career big league homer. Does have 7 RBIs. And he sends that one in the air, left center field. Got some carry, and there is number 1. Cooper Pratt is on the board. His first big league homer.
Cooper Pratt's first career home run, call courtesy of Brian Anderson and Brewers TV. It's the most electrifying sound of the day, brought to you by our friends at Best Electric. Remember, no job is too big or too small for Best Electric. Don't stress. Connect with the best. Call them today or visit bestelect.com. Cooper Pratt also having just an awesome game, but awesome to hear BA essentially just set him up. That was fantastic.
Yeah, I was walking around my grandpa's house, and he was sitting down watching, and I was gonna go into my room quick to grab something, and I heard BA say that. And I thought, you know what? Let me just sit here for a second and watch this, and then next pitch.
Boom!
Glad I watched it.
Yeah, darn right. Awesome, and good for the Brewers. Good for Cooper Pratt. We continue our discussion on the Brewers now. We go to the Nicolay Law fan talk and text line on the phones. Brad in West Allis joins the show. Good morning, Brad. How are we doing?
Good morning. I'm doing great. I love the chatter about the Brewers. I would really like to see him get Mason Miller if they can do it from the Padres and go 7, 8, 9, Uribe, McGill, Mason Miller. And I don't think they need to add any offense personally. That's just my opinion. Maybe another starter if they can find a scrap heap guy like they're so good at doing, and really go for it by getting Mason Miller. Whatever the cost is, don't care. Thanks for taking the call.
Yeah, absolutely, Brad, before you hang up, so I want to know, you talk about just one of those get you over starters. Would you want Freddie Peralta back?
Yeah, if it doesn't, on the cheap, sure. I mean, he's another live arm. Why not? If they can get him for the right price, he's the right price guy. Mason Miller is any price guy to me. He's a Cy Young candidate this year. He's going to go toe to toe with Mizorowski for the Cy Young. It's going to be one of the two of those guys that win it if they both stay healthy the rest of the way.
Awesome. Appreciate the call, Brad. So I'm kind of in the same boat. I don't know. I know that they were looking at like a Chapman originally. Now it seems like the Red Sox are coming back. Now they might not be as big as sellers as we all thought they were going to be a month and a half ago. Yeah. But getting an arm that solidifies 7, 8, 9, I think is huge. I think that's huge for the Brewers. I think that if you do that, then you don't need to focus as much on starting pitching. If you have a solid, third of the game locked up in, the back end of the bullpen. So I'm all for that. More importantly, when it comes to Freddie Peralta, though, that's exactly where I'm at on Freddie. I'm not saying no. I am saying I don't know that there is some get him in the pitching lab type answer if you bring Freddie on. So just know ahead of time, we're bringing Freddie back because he was a fan favorite and because he's usable. We can't go and trade something to the Mets, who are essentially, I mean, they're having an awful season, right? The Mets are having an absolute awful season. So they will be sellers. But I just don't see Freddie Peralta being that guy. Also, consider what the Mets looked at when they got Freddie Peralta. He was their opening day starter. And now he's on the trade block. Like, have you seen a fall from grace with a Brewer? Someone that happened as fast as it has with Freddie?
Devin Williams, maybe.
I don't know that to the extent.
Would you trade Blake Burke for Freddie Peralta?
Sure.
You'd trade the 15th best prospect in the system for Freddie Peralta?
Probably. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like we need guys. So I might trade him for any starter that's going to get us over. You know why? Because I want to win a World Series, Aaron.
Would you give the Mets Coleman Crow back?
Yeah.
Freddie Peralta?
Yeah, I didn't like Coleman Crow. I didn't like what we saw from him. It wasn't enough. Although that's the thing. I didn't necessarily love what I saw from Freddie Peralta. He got things done. It was still stressful to watch. I don't know. We will talk to Rami Makloff about this and much more. I wonder if he stayed up late to see the Tigers take care of his Cubbies. It's the Top 3 Tuesday. That's going to be happening in the second segment of the 7 o'clock hour. Start getting your top 3 lists together on a Top 3 Tuesday. We're going to be talking that plus much, much more with Rami and all of you on the Wisconsin Sports Wake Up Call. I'm Josh Albrecht. That is Aaron Morse. We'll be right back.
Good morning. This is your wake-up call.
It's time to wake up. Rami Makloff from 9 to noon.
All right, rise and shine, Sleeping Beauty. Come on, hop, hop, hop.
This is the Wisconsin Sports Wake Up Call on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Wake up, Daddy's home.
Here's your host, Josh Albrecht.
And was a part of a lot of winning baseball. That's a base hit. That's going to go down in the corner. Churio is off to the races. Churio being waved home. Throw goes to second base. It's an RBI double for Bryce Terang. Then he shoots one to right field. Down a base hit. Coming in to score Terang. And Garrett Mitchell keeps on cooking. Pratt still looking for his first career big league homer. And he sends that one in the air. Left center field. Got some carry. And there is number one. Cooper Pratt is on the board. You said you had never been to Milwaukee until as Vaughn sends one left center. And it's gone. Oh my goodness. He's gone Hank Aaron on us. And Ortiz down the left field line. It is out. Joey O. A line drive missile out of here. It's a 3-run home run. And there it is. It's a strikeout. Anderson strikes out 3. And on July 20th, the Brewers have the best record in Major League Baseball.
Woo! Brewers are on top. Love hearing that on a Tuesday morning. Good morning, Wisconsin. This is the Wisconsin Sports Wake Up Call. I'm Josh Albrecht. Aaron Morse alongside with me. And now it's our pleasure, our honor to wake up Rami Makloff from 9 to noon. Good morning, Rami. How are you?
Morning, boys. I'm okay. My eyes have been extra puffy. My eyes are.
You gotta remember, he's not the fan of the best team in baseball.
Well, that is true. That is true. So I wanted to, Rami, right off the bat, one of the things we talked about this morning was, I don't know if you stayed up late to watch the Tigers put away the Cubs last night in Penn. Okay.
Yeah,
we were talking about.
For me. That's
okay.
Well,
that's true. That's true because you're not up at 4:00. Got it. Right.
Yep.
So the Cubs now sit 7 games back of the Brewers in the NL Central. And I asked Aaron, I said, how many games do the Brewers need to be up on the Cubs until you don't worry about the Cubs and start worrying about seeding and getting that bye or a home field advantage through the playoffs? At what point is that become not a thing? Someone on the Nicolay Law fan talk and text line chimed in and said, not until that is officially locked up do I stop worrying about the lead, because you can lose a lead in an instant in Major League Baseball. So I want to turn that question around for you, Rami, and say, at what point, what does the number have to be to where you go, yeah, the Cubs aren't catching the Brewers. That's done. They're playing for a wild card.
We're pretty close already. And I've been saying this on 9 to noon that it's not, two things need to happen for the Cubs or anybody else to catch the Brewers in the NL Central. One, that team needs to get hot enough, and the Brewers would have to get cold enough for the Brewers to get caught. And when you have a Jacob Mizorowski, and when healthy, you have a Kyle Harrison at the top of that rotation pitching the way that they've been pitching this season, you minimize the chance of long losing streaks or those stretches where you lose 7 out of 10 or 8 out of 10. That's why they call guys like that at the top of the rotation a stopper. So I think the Cubs could get hot. I mean, the Cubs have been playing good baseball. They're winning at a pretty high clip. They're in first place in a few divisions around the major leagues, just the Brewers. And this is the same thing that happened last year. From the last week of May on, the Brewers were just better than everybody pretty much. And you heard Brian Anderson say there in the final call, they have the best record in Major League Baseball. And that's because they've consistently won baseball games and consistently have kept themselves out of long losing streaks and any sort of tailspin this season. That's what makes them so good, is the consistency this year.
So you think they're already there, but if you had to give me a number, if they hit double digits, is it more than double digits?
It might not even need to get to double digits, honestly. Eight or 9 might do it, because because they're not going to go through huge stretches, I don't think, where they lose a lot of baseball games, and that would be required for somebody to catch them in this division.
See, and I just find that very interesting because the Brewers are, as you mentioned, 63 wins, best team in baseball, number one in the division by 7 games. And yet I'm sitting here and I'm going, no, it's too early. It's still way too early to count the Cubs out. And yet you are the complete opposite. And I don't know if that just means we're both being doom and gloom in this scenario about our teams, or if it's just, us differing on the realism of what can all happen in 60 days of baseball.
Well, I think it's just math. I think it's just math.
A lot.
John,
I feel like the math favors the Cubs not being out. That's 2 series.
I'll give you an example, John. Before yesterday, the Cubs had won 7 of their last 10. They lost ground on the Brewers in that time. Like that's the math that you're dealing with here. If you're one of these teams looking up at the Brewers, because they don't go into these ruts or these tailspins that other teams will get into because of those 2 pitchers at the top of the rotation. You win 7 out of 10 games and lose ground in the division. Hell, there was a point where the Cubs had won 18 of 24 and I think stood pat or maybe gained 1 game on the Brewers in that stretch. You know what I mean? Like, these teams can get hot, the Cubs, the Cardinals, the Pirates, although I think the Cardinals and the Pirates are out. If there is a race, I think it's a 2-team race at this point. It's the Brewers and the Cubs. The Cubs can get hot, and they will, and they have. But they won't get hot, and the Brewers won't get cold enough to make up this deficit that they find themselves in right now.
Yeah, I'm still not buying it. All right, let's
you don't
talk
buy
a little
math?
bit about.
You don't buy math? Are you one of these people?
No, I'm not buying your math. I'm out on your math. I still think
Are you
there's
like
plenty
Terrence
of
Howard, who goes around questioning math and podcasts.
Yeah, well, math is hard. Numbers suck, and also there's a lot of baseball left. Let's talk about Freddie Peralta. Freddie Peralta comes back, makes his return to American Family Field. The fans all over it, applauding him, cheering him. Even as he was coming out of the game after a not good outing, the fan base showing their appreciation had me thinking, okay, yeah, he was a fan favorite in Milwaukee, but the idea of bringing him back to this team, what does that do for the Brewers truly? What are your thoughts on the Brewers bringing back Freddie Peralta?
We talked about it a little bit yesterday on the show. I don't know how much it does for you, because go through the rotation, guys, and when do you get to somebody who you say, I'll take Freddie over that guy? Maybe your number 4 spot when you have a healthy rotation, because you're not taking him over Miz, you're not taking him over Harrison, you're not even taking him over Logan Henderson. Maybe Brandon Sproat, although you look at their numbers and they are pretty similar this year, and I think there's a higher ceiling with Brandon Sproat at this point in those 2 guys' careers. So he's maybe
Gasser. You have Gasser. You taking him over Gasser?
Yeah, he's maybe your 5th starter. He might be your 5th starter at this point. And I mean, okay, you upgraded your 5th starter. That helps you in the regular season. I don't know how much it helps you in the postseason. I guess it makes you that much deeper in terms of pitching, and maybe you put a Freddie Peralta in the bullpen, or obviously it forces a Robert Gasser to the bullpen. Yesterday, somebody suggested maybe it pushes Brandon Sproat to the bullpen, and actually I think it was Mitch Nellis who said this on the show yesterday when we were doing a little crosstalk of what that guy could be out of a bullpen when he's throwing damn near 100 and doesn't have to worry about going 5 innings. He can just gas it up there and be dominant out of the bullpen. So it makes you better for the regular season, but if I'm the Brewers, I'm trying to make moves that make me better for the postseason at this.
If his name wasn't Freddie Peralta, nobody would want him.
About it, yeah.
Nobody would want him. Why would anyone want a guy with I don't think 5 ERA?
I don't think nobody would want him because of the track record. You're like, if you were just looking at this year's numbers, yeah,
right.
Aaron,
that's what I'm
nobody
saying.
would want him. But
yeah.
I think any guy, and there are pitchers around the league who fit this description, who are on the trade block, or people speculate that they'll be on the trade block, guys who've had long successful careers or a good track record and are struggling right now. And because pitching is at such a premium and in such high demand in Major League Baseball, teams will especially on a rental, depending on the price, will take a flyer on that guy and try to unlock like that peak form that they showed previously in their career. So I don't know that nobody would be looking at him, Aaron, but he certainly wouldn't be on people's radars, and especially here in Milwaukee, he wouldn't be on people's radars the way that he is right now.
Yeah, I think we're full. I think we're full on what we're looking at for October. I mean, you just went through all those names, Rami, and you didn't even mention Shane Drowan.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
Who is another guy that I would take over Freddie Peralta. And so it just seems like it's a weird scenario, weird situation that the Brewers are in, to where if we're bringing in a guy like that, it's literally to just eat starts to get us to October.
Yeah.
I don't think that even if you brought Freddie in, regardless of how well Freddie did, I don't think Freddie would make the October lineup. I don't think he's a part of the 40 man going into the postseason. I don't see it based on everyone else. And Freddie out of the bullpen doesn't make any sense to me. To me, the move is such a weird one for the Brewers to say, hey, we're going to bring back this fan favorite guy that we traded before the beginning of the season to use him for maybe 5-6 starts and then kick him to the curb again.
There's probably only two pitchers who have made a start this year for the Brewers that I wouldn't take over Freddie Peralta: Coleman Crow and Brandon Sproat. And Brandon Sproat is about even with Freddie Peralta for me.
Let me ask you this. Last year's version of Freddie Peralta. How many guys in the Brewers rotation are you taking Freddie over? Because I just assume when the Brewers trade for I just assume when the Brewers trade for a pitcher, they're going to unlock that guy and get the best version of him. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because that's just what they do. So if they can get last year's version of Freddie Peralta, now the conversation becomes a little bit more interesting, and it's a little bit tougher of a decision to have, and maybe he is good enough to be your fourth starter. You know what I mean?
I think Ms. Harrison, Henderson, and then Drowan would be right there, I think.
I think I'm with Aaron on
even
that.
on last year Freddie.
Okay.
And so that's why you're taking a risk thinking maybe you get Freddie of old back, maybe and I know it really comes down to what you have to trade for him. I get it. If you get him for nothing because the Mets just look at it like this was a failed experiment, we lost, we got to just get rid of this guy, fine. But whatever the prospect is that you're trading, you're still going to scratch your head at it because he's not the guy that gets you excited for a playoff run. Freddie's just not going to be that guy regardless. And so I just don't see it.
I don't know that they're going to make that big splash move that gets you quote unquote excited about a trade deadline move, or any more excited than you already are about some postseason run. That hasn't been the Brewers' MO. I think they should. I think if a Tarek Skubal is available, and that's still up in the air, the Brewers should be making that call and for guys of that ilk, because this might be the window is open right now for winning a World Series for the Milwaukee Brewers, and this might be, I'm not saying it is, but this might be as wide open as the window gets. And the reason for that is that guy who took the mound yesterday for the Brewers, the shelf life, the lifespan of power pitchers can be short. I'm not saying it will be. I'm saying it can be. And so I want to strike while the iron's hot. I want to jump through that window while it's as wide open as it may potentially get, and take the big swing at winning a World Series. So I would make that type of move. I don't necessarily expect the Brewers to think the way I'm thinking and make that type of move. That just hasn't been their MO.
Also, the Packers extended Devontae Wyatt, which 3 years, $57 million. And I absolutely love the move. I think that Aaron does too. The thing that did have me scratching my head a little bit was I thought we were on Tucker Kraft watch, and now it's Wyatt. Is that just they were doing both and Wyatt got done first? Do you think this in any way, shape, or form is a sign that things aren't going well with negotiations for Tucker Kraft?
No, I think this was an easier one with Devontae Wyatt. Tucker Kraft, you're talking about, that guy's going to get top end tight end money. He's going to get paid at or near the top of that tight end market. So I think there's there's more to do there in those negotiations, and maybe the Packers do want to see him get on a field and be healthy. I'm sure their doctors have gotten their hands on him and X-rays and MRIs and everything, and they've put him through the ringer in terms of the physical tests that a guy has to go through when they're coming back from an injury like that. But maybe, I mean, it is a possibility the Packers want to see him get on a football field and show that he can do what he did again last season and find that form and be that guy before they're willing to pay him. I wouldn't be too worried about it. If there's one thing that the Packers do, it's pay their own guys, and especially the guys that deserve it the most. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't be too worried about it. I just think that there's more to get done in a negotiation for a top end tight end than what Devontae Wyatt got yesterday and his place on the interior defensive lineman market.
I think you said something interesting
go ahead.
there, Rami, about Tucker Kraft wanting to prove himself. Maybe if that's the case to get more money. I think we've all been operating like done deal. Packers want to lock this guy up for a lot of money. They know how good he is. Tucker Kraft going to be one of the highest paid tight ends in football. But the Packers, as much as they like paying their players, they also like having fair deals and fair deals in their mind. So maybe Tucker Kraft is asking for the most money of a tight end in NFL history, like more than George Kittle. And I would say, okay, maybe fair, but also you haven't fully put together a season yet like that. And maybe that's what the Packers are saying, or even a Trey McBride who's just behind Kittle. You know, I think third highest paid tight end would be fair. Maybe Kraft wants to be the second highest paid, and maybe the Packers are like, yeah, but you know, you've been hurt. You're coming off injury. You haven't really put together a full season like one of those guys. So maybe we're operating like it's going to happen. You said maybe Kittle or maybe Kraft wants to make more money than the Packers are currently offering, and maybe we'll go into the season and there's no deal yet.
Yeah, that is. I think that is possible. I would guess Tucker Kraft is asking for top of the line money for his position, and I would be too. And maybe the Packers are looking for an injury discount or a hometown discount. I don't know if you guys heard Tucker Kraft a few weeks ago at OTAs when he spoke. That is a very confident man about his abilities and his place amongst tight ends in this league. He thinks he is and was playing at the highest level of any tight end in the league right now. So that's what he thinks of himself. I would imagine that's what what his agent and his representatives are going into that room and saying about him and his place in this league, his place amongst tight ends, and his value to the Green Bay Packers. So I would assume Tucker Kraft is asking for top tight end money. And you're right, Aaron. Maybe that's not something that the Packers are putting on the table yet because they haven't seen it for a full season, or because he is coming off the knee injury, or whatever the case might be. But I think if he goes out there and shows that he's that dude again, we're hearing about a Tucker Kraft extension at some point in the season, if not sooner.
Yeah, I hope that happens sooner than later. I just cannot see a world where Tucker Kraft does not get an extension with the Packers at some point.
But what if he's asking for the most money in football?
And Aaron, when you say, like, I get what you're saying, and I know a lot of fans look at it this way when you say, well, he's probably the second or third best tight end in this league, so that's how I would pay him. And that's not how free agency and the market works. You know what I mean? Like,
but I just guess the Packers would do it, would operate that way as well.
Yeah, but the market is always getting reset.
Right. Yes.
You know what I mean? Like the best paid at any position is not necessarily the best player at any position, and on down the line, second, third, they're not the second and third best at their position more times than not. It's
very
just,
fair.
You know, the cap is always going up. Guys hit free agency. There's a demand for them, and somebody's going to pay them maybe more than they're technically worth in terms of their rank at their position. But that's always how the market is moving.
Yeah, the market going to market. All right, when we come back, it's a Top 3 Tuesday. We're going to read your texts, your comments on what we just got to, plus your top threes in a Top 3 Tuesday. Get them in now, 414-677-1250. This is the Wisconsin Sports Wake Up Call. Josh Albrecht, Aaron Morris, Rami Makloff joining us. We are live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. The Wisconsin Sports Radio Network is proudly outfitted by Burghardt Sporting Goods, our official apparel partner. Outfit your team or company with custom apparel today at BSG1881.com. Welcome back to the Wisconsin Sports Wake Up Call. I'm Josh Albrecht. Aaron Morris on the other side of the glass. Rami Makloff joining us as well on a Top 3 Tuesday. We're going to go through our top threes. We want your top threes as well on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250. All right, boys, I'm going to go first. All right, here we go. Top 3 awesome things about spending time up north. Number 3, the crisp, clean air, which didn't happen. Didn't get that. Which
I was going to say they had that up there. That's crazy.
No, they didn't. They were all out of it.
Is that allowed to be put on the list?
Well, it is still an awesome thing, even though I didn't get to experience it. Which, by the way, I talk about that and saying "Boo Canada" for their fires. The amount of people this morning that were like, "You should not be cursing Canada," and they're fired. You have no idea. They hate it too. It's not their fault. Blah. Yeah, I'm not saying let's go to war. I'm saying it sucked. It ruined me being up north. I hate that it's happening.
Someone's giving us a wildfire history lesson.
Oh my God.
Great.
Crazy.
Doesn't change. Yeah.
Are you a stay inside, the world is burning type guy? Because
not me.
No. All right.
No. I didn't give a care about the smoke. I was outside.
The thing is, I was there with my less than 2-year-old kid and my 9-year-old grandma.
That's different.
So I went out. Yeah. they stayed in. That was number 3. Number 2, getting to live that lake life. We had one day where it had passed before like the next wave came on Friday. We got to go out and it was beautiful. And there, my grandma's lake home is on a small lake, Muskellunge Lake is the name of it. Their small lake. It was calm. It was cool. No waves. Beautiful sunset. Got to take the pontoon boat out. It was perfect. Absolutely love it.
Do you do the booze cruise?
No.
Okay.
No, not in that instance. Yeah. Right, it's probably one of the only times I am on a boat and not booze cruising it. But no,
just doing like the little lap or whatever. Yeah,
taking the kids around. We got into this a little yesterday on the show because Coon's a boat guy. He's got a boat. I don't get it. I don't.
Well, I don't know if it's like a huge thing for me, but like generally, if I'm on a pontoon and it's sunsetting, whoever's got the pontoon will bring it out and everyone just brings a beer or a drink of their choice. They just do a lap around and just talk.
I find it boring. Like I find it boring being on it, but like it's just
you need to find more people you like.
well, there's a certain piece to it that you might understand maybe.
I like being on a lake. Like I like being on the lakefront and but I can also turn around and there's land right there. You know what I mean? Like I'm not
sure. You don't need to be stranded at sea for a couple hours. Is what you're saying?
I don't need to go out onto the water. There's nothing out there. There's literally nothing out there unless you go in the water. And if you go in the water,
serenity out there, Ronnie.
But I can have that peace and serenity from the lakefront, and then turn around and grab a beer from the beer garden that I'm sitting at. You know what I mean?
There's more people there. There's more people than there is on the boat.
So Coon's a lap guy, is what you're saying, and you're not. Is that the conversation you had?
Coon can spend all day out on the water. I guess I don't know. I don't get it.
Okay, that's fine.
I don't get it.
The number one awesome thing about spending time up north is that it forces you to slow down. Whether you want to or not, you can try living in the busy life that you have. Life just moves so much slower up there, and it's just like the perfect reset. Absolutely love it. All right,
I found that to be the case in Italy. Oh man, I didn't want to come home.
Well, yeah, I think that's the thing is you don't want it to end, so you're like, ooh, I've got 3 days left. Let's make the most out of each one of these hours. Yeah. All right. My top 3, first top 3. I'm going to go with niche sports moments to watch.
Okay.
So years ago, I came across a couple of these and I liked watching the compilations. Number 3, I had a tough one between a snooker max break or a disc golf ace. I'm going to go with a disc golf ace. Because I just think it's insane that these people can throw it hundreds of yards and bang some chains,
If you're watching the show right now on the Growth Law video stream on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, at WI Sports Radio, Injured Growth Gets It. Literally, Aaron is 4 words into his first top 3. Rami's just shaking his head like a disappointed dad.
He doesn't know ball. He doesn't know ball.
What is so wrong with watching a disc golf highlight?
Those weren't words. Those are a snooker. You're making things up. You're making things up. And what did you say? Bang some chains? What are we even
chains?
What are we even talking
You've never
about?
banged some chains?
No, I've never
been
banged
out on the
some
disc golf
chains,
course?
Aaron Morris. No. What are we even talking about right now?
Hey, you
Rami
just don't know
doesn't seem
ball.
like
You don't know
like a
disc.
chain banging type of guy, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I'm not a huge disc golf guy either, but I've played it time to time. And snooker is a thing. You just gotta watch one of these max breaks. They have to hit like 23 balls in a row. I don't
know that I can get on board with this highlight.
I'm just saying.
Snooker is a sport? Is that what you're telling me? Snooker is a sport or a game of some sort.
Well, yeah, it's just a form of billiards, different form of billiards. Yeah. Listen, I'm not saying it's popular.
I'm Googling what is snooker.
The category is literally niche sports moments.
I don't even know if I can say snooker on the air. I don't even know what that. I had never heard that before. I just heard Aaron Morris say snooker.
All right, number 2, goalies scoring in soccer. Goalies scoring. That's electric because it's the end of the game and they need a goal, and you just got this goalie in this off-colored uniform running down the field and scoring. And
that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah,
sure, I'll give you that.
Yep.
Okay, fine.
And number 1, this is by far the best niche sports moment to watch. Like it is in its own category. If I go 1, 2, 3, it would just be a 9-darter in darts. Have you guys ever watched 9 darts compilation?
I believe it's the only darts that I've ever watched.
It's
awesome.
Compilations
of guys not missing.
It's so cool. Like the crowd goes bananas when these guys they go 3 in a row, and the crowd is like they just start murmuring. And then they 4, 5, yeah, and then they hit the 7th one, yeah, and then they hit the 8th one, yeah. And then it's a 9-darter. They hit the 9th dart. They start throwing their beer in the air. They're going nuts. I'm telling you, look it up. Watch a 9-darter compilation today, Rami.
Rami's face
through I'm
this
telling
whole
you.
top 3 has never been more disappointment.
I'm telling you, watch a 9-darter compilation tonight.
I will watch.
It's electric.
Look, I've
seen. Type into your web browser snooker 9-darter and see what comes up.
I don't know if I recommend that.
I've seen compilations. I've seen highlights of dart competitions, and that's fun when it's in a.
I would never watch a dart competition
in a compilation or in a highlight, really. But I'm not going to sit and watch darts.
No, me either. No way.
Right.
Not
okay.
a chance.
Good.
I'm just watching the compilation. It's a niche sport moment.
It's like to me. To me, it's like soccer. It's when the goal is scored. It's like, wow, did you see that? That goal was scored. But everything in between is like nothing. It's just nothing.
Watching some 9-darters.
Okay, my turn.
Yeah, your turn. Your turn, Robbie.
I have no idea what I just listened to. Aaron, you're on the 9 to noon show for the next week, aren't you?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
We can. Hey, you know what? I'll educate you over the next few shows.
Right. He seems very happy about that. Top 3 people Rami wishes were in on 9 to noon.
You know what? Tomorrow I'm asking John Kuhn about this. I'm asking Kuhn about 9-darters and snookers and yeah.
I don't know that he's allowed to tell you.
You guys know there is entertainment outside of sports, right? Like there are things you can spend your time doing other than watching sport. And I love sports.
Like
I do,
on a lake during a sunset on a boat.
That honestly, Josh, on some level, that makes sense to me. More than what I just heard Aaron Morris talk about for 5 minutes.
Top 3 was so bad it made mine sound better. Thank you, Aaron.
There is nothing other than sports.
That's what I needed.
I have no interest in anything other than sports. So
I should have followed. I should have followed Josh. One, because mine is like the upside down of Josh's list. Literally, I mean, Josh. Before I heard you give your list, this is what I was coming in with this morning.
Okay.
Am I the only person who doesn't like summertime?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I heard this conversation yesterday. You're insane.
I don't like it, if we were, and we did, because we do random power rankings on the 9 to noon program, we ranked the seasons, and it's at the bottom for me. It's at the bottom of the season rankings for me. Yes, absolutely. Cannot wait for fall. As
what
Green
are your
Day,
top 3 rankings or top 3 seasons?
Oh, it goes fall, fall, winter, spring, summer, I think is my order. Spring and winter.
So literally the order that they happen in.
I mean, they, depending on what time of year you start, you could say that about any order that I put them in.
That's not true. If your ranking was summer, winter, fall, you never go summer to winter.
Spring and winter they're jockeying for that number 2 spot, but fall is number 1 and summer is number 4 for sure. And here are the things I hate about the summer, you guys. And
okay.
Top 3 things you hate about the summer.
Perfect. Yep. Wonderful.
This summer specifically. Number 3, the bugs. Just the bugs, you know what I mean? They're
bugs.
They're everywhere. They're getting in the house, which is gross. They're biting me every time I step outside, which is annoying. I got mosquito bites and bug bites all over me. Number 2, the smoke, and we talked about the smoke and how it's the air is poisoning you. The air that we breathe, the thing that keeps you alive is literally trying to kill you. And number 1 is just hot. It's just hot, you guys. I'm always sweaty. It wasn't even that hot this morning. I joined you guys sweating, like I was sweating profusely when I turned on this microphone this morning. And I'm a big sweater, so maybe that's why I don't like summer more than most people. Like, it doesn't take a lot to get a little lather going over here, and so yeah, I just all summer long I'm just miserable, you guys. I cannot. Fall is just the best. The more I
do
talk
you believe
about
in air conditioning?
I do. Can you hear it running right now? Because the air conditioner in this room is very loud. Really, you can't? I thought for sure that would be a thing. Okay, good. Yeah, I love air conditioning. I think it's the greatest invention of the 21st century.
That's absolutely wrong.
Rami, on the text line, you got 2 different responses. I knew I didn't like Rami for a reason, and fall is the absolute best season. Those are the two texts coming in.
Fall, you got playoff baseball, football season starting.
You know what the problem with fall
NBA season's about to start. You got
7 days.
Halloween, you got Thanksgiving. Oh, the leaves are changing colors. I can open my windows.
With fall is winter's next. That's the problem.
Fall doesn't last long enough. That's the problem with fall. You don't get 3 months of fall. You get 2 weeks of fall and then winter. That's the problem with fall.
I'll take it. I'll take the 2 weeks of fall over the months of. By the way, did we not get a spring this year, or was I only the only one who felt like we didn't?
No, we got tornadoes.
It was pretty short,
and the weather was just terrible.
It was probably just a few weeks.
All right. Next one for me. Top 3 things that can get you irritated on a long drive with the family. We drove back. We had a 4-hour drive. 4-hour drive, not even that long. 4-hour drive back from the lake house back home yesterday. Top 3 things. Number 3, when your kids are bored. I get the 2-year-old, right? Like, he doesn't know what's happening. But the 9-year-old was bored. He has an iPad. He has a video game. And you're bored. You're bored? I don't know. I'm driving. You're bored? Figure it out. Watch something else. All you want to do is watch TV at home. Watch one of the things. Download it on your iPad. I'm bored. Don't tell me you're bored. The world is your oyster at 9 years old. Figure it out.
Was that like 20 minutes into the drive?
Also,
yeah, of course. It's all immediately.
Did you? I didn't have screens everywhere I went when I was. How are you ever bored? I had the back of my mom's head. That's what I was looking at for a 4-hour drive.
I had a Game Boy. I had a Game Boy, but you couldn't play it at night unless you were going past like streetlights, and then you had to just try to make your move.
And then you're going to have a seizure looking at that screen and trying to catch it in the light of the street light.
But I did have the Game Boy. Number 2, when your spouse or kids constantly need to take potty breaks.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I am that spouse.
Oh, Rami, no.
I'm older than you guys. You'll get there.
It. We're going to have to stop for gas at some point. Hold it till then.
No.
We are not having a unscheduled break because someone's got
I
to
don't
go to the
even
bathroom.
understand. Like, I used to be like that, and then I lived in Minneapolis for a while, and I was constantly back and forth between Milwaukee and Minneapolis, visiting friends and family and all that. And I used to like I gotta get. I used to try and beat the ETA on the Google Maps. You know what I mean? Oh, I gotta get there fast. Gotta get there fast. And one day I was holding it and I was dying, dude. Like I had to go so bad, and I had like an epiphany, like an aha moment. I was like, what are you doing? What is even the rush? What is at home that you need to get to so badly that you're putting yourself through this torture and speeding through traffic and cutting people off? Like, what, Josh, what is it that you need to, or does this go back to the first thing in your list, which is you're just so annoyed by your family, you want to get the hell out of the car?
Do they?
Like,
they do stack.
Do you
stack.
Do you stop at gas stations when the potty breaks, Josh?
Yeah. Well,
it
depends. So it's we're gonna stop and get food at some point, and we're gonna have to fill up on gas.
Yeah, but
so
I mean,
if I can have both of those work together, even better.
But if it's an individual stop,
if it's an individual stop, I got two. Those are the two stops. So you have two chances on a 4-hour drive to go to the bathroom. When we're stopping for food or when we're stopping for gas. We are not stopping a third time because someone has to go to the bathroom.
If I have to stop,
go ahead.
I'm going to a rest area nowadays. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, rest area. Then you're just in and out. Like, you don't have to get off and find it. You know, you're just in, go, out, boom.
No, it doesn't matter. Where we go, we stopped. We stopped. It doesn't matter where we stopped.
2 stops on a 4-hour trip seems reasonable, but like
that's a lot.
If you need a third, what's
one
the big
stop
deal?
max?
Like, what's the problem?
The problem is we already stopped twice, Rami, and we're bored, and we stopped twice already. We don't need to stop a third time. We need to get to our destination.
Why?
Sit down, shut up, let me drive.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Because I don't want to spend more time on the trip. I want to get to where I'm going. We don't need to make more unscheduled stops.
See, it's about the journey, not the destination.
All right, what's your number one?
And my number one thing that can get irritated on a long drive with the family is getting stuck in the left lane. Oh. I don't know that there's anything worse than getting stuck in the left lane. You're in the left lane, and you are going toe-to-toe with the guy in the right. Sometimes people camp in the left lane, and then they just aren't, I don't know, they don't understand things. And then the person in the right lane goes faster than them, fine. Then I'll get in the right lane, pass the guy in the left, and then keep going. When you are stuck behind someone in the left lane and you just can't move, and you're just there for miles and miles and miles as these two cars are going at the same pace, I don't know that there's anything worse.
Biggest
on a long drive.
Driving.
It's fine if it's a 10-minute drive. If I have a 10-minute drive and I'm stuck in the left lane, fine, because I'm probably not spending much time in the left lane. But when you've been driving for hours and you get stuck in that left lane, there's nothing worse. Especially as that's happening when your wife says, I think I have to go to the bathroom. And your son said, Dad, I'm bored. And now you can't pass on the left lane on top of it. No. Nope. You go, you hold it, you figure it out, and you get in the right lane.
You should just make an extra stop, take a deep breath, and decompress. That's what you should do.
Oh, my God. Okay. Boo.
Should we get to any on the text line quick?
Rami. Oh, yeah. Should we do that?
Okay.
No, we got to go to break. Okay. We'll do some on the other side.
Right.
We got time. All right. We'll come right back. I really got into that there. This is the Wisconsin Sports Wake Up Call. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Welcome back to the Wisconsin Sports Wake Up Call. I'm Josh Albrecht, Aaron Morse alongside. Special thanks to Rami Makloff, who joined us on a Top 3 Tuesday. We want to get to some of your reactions here from our Top 3 lists on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250. Let's see here. Scotty Tiffany says, Rami's right. The only good thing about summer is baseball, which I watch indoors the majority of the time. I'm team fall 12 months a year. Yeah. The thing is, listen, I also love fall. Fall doesn't last long enough for me to be able to take it seriously. It's just, that's the problem. If I felt we truly got 3 months of, 50 to 60 degree weather where I'm wearing a sweatshirt and shorts and that sun beaming down on me with cool, crisp air, I'm all about that. It just doesn't last 3 months, period. That's the problem. 773 says, I agree with Aaron. 4 hours is a max one-stop trip. That mark in Eagle. Yeah, I'm with you. If possible, one stop. I'm all good there. Let me see here. 920 says, left lane campers are the worst. Send back to driver's ed. And then once you finally get around them, then the wife makes you go to the rest stop. It's worse when there is a long line in the left lane from the 414. Sky Tiffany chimes back in, says, what about stopping for an attraction or a landmark, Josh? Getting there is part of the adventure. That's not an unscheduled stop. That's the difference.
Yeah, you plan
if I know
that
ahead
in.
of time,
yeah,
hey, we're going to stop and go and look at this. Yeah. Also, that's a good time to go to the bathroom because we know it's coming up. But it's the unscheduled stop for me that gets me. Just we have places we're stopping. Let's just hold it. Just try to have in your mind, play that mental game, and you'll get it taken care of. That's what we're looking for. Let's see. This is Bennett in Brookfield that says there's studies that show speeding over 70 to 75 miles per hour, the amount that you save in time is minuscule compared to the risk you put yourself in at that speed. But to me, my brain is only on go, so I have to go 8 to 15 miles per hour over the speed limit to save the extra 47 seconds.
I get those studies. I disagree with them, though. No, I agree with them, but I disagree. Part of my, okay, if I'm going a mile or 2 per hour faster,
yeah,
part of that is getting to that stop sign on your exit before, a little bit earlier than that car that's driving 5 under or the stoplight or whatever that stops you. And that's the time you save.
We will reset all of the headlines and recap the Brewer game, talk about Freddie Peralta and much more coming up next on the Steve Zabin Show with Josh Albrecht, where it will be Josh Albrecht and Aaron Morse. Stay tuned for that. This is the Wisconsin Sports Wake Up Call. We are live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and we're not done yet.
putting the band back together.
Forget it. No way.
We're on a mission from God.
I'm back, baby.
I want you to put the word out there that we back up. Understand me? We back up.
They say everyone deserves a second chance. Apparently, so do radio shows.
We are back, baby.
After years apart, countless bad sports takes from everyone else, and more than a few people saying, you know who should do a show together again?
We're back.
Somebody actually made it happen.
We are back. We are back.
Steve Zabin and Josh Albrecht, back together again.
What does that do? Does that blow your mind? That just happened.
A man who loves digital assets, hates replay, and always leaves early. Milwaukee's adopted hometown son, Steve Zabin.
Unbelievable we're seeing! What just happened?
It's the Steve Zabin Show with Josh Albrecht on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
It sure is. Welcome into the Steve Zabin Show with Josh Albrecht. Today, Steve Zabin-less. Zabe enjoying some golf, go figure, across the pond. I think Ireland is where he is. I don't know. He's not here. So, essentially, Aaron Morris and I are going to continue the conversation that we've been having on the Wisconsin Sports Wake-Up Call, but on the Steve Zabin Show with Josh Albrecht, and we are happy to have any new listeners that are joining us here in the 8 o'clock hour. We are live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and we are celebrating another Brewers win. The Brewers, with Miz on the mound, take care of the Mets yesterday, 8-3, and they get their 63rd win of the season. They are the best team in baseball, and this is it's a crazy time, Aaron. It's a crazy time because I feel like we should absolutely be celebrating all of this, and yet I can't get over, and I don't think at this point, I have to admit to myself, I don't think I'll ever get over just focusing on October and the Dodgers. It's just where I'm at. It's where I've been out all season long.
Yeah, I'm the same way, so we're not going to have a disagreement here. The only thing I care about is how the Brewers match up with the Dodgers. Now, I think they're not to say that the Braves or the Cubs or the Phillies couldn't give the Brewers some issue, because they do have ways to beat the Brewers. The Phillies have great pitching. The Braves have pretty good pitching and a nice offense.
Braves took care of the Brewers earlier this season.
The Cubs are always going to be a problem for the Brewers, and vice versa. The Brewers are always going to be a problem for the Cubs. So there are teams that can certainly beat the Brewers outside of the Dodgers, but the Dodgers are still going to be the team that I mostly only care about until somebody can beat the Dodgers, and that being the Brewers.
Well, I'll tell you, it's a lot easier to beat your opponent for the Brewers with the pitching staff they have when they're also hitting for power. In that 8-3 win against Freddie Peralta and the Mets, there were 3 home runs hit in that game by the Brewers. The first we're going to play for you is Cooper Pratt, who got his first career home run.
Pratt still looking for his first career big league homer. And he sends that one in the air, left center field. Got some carry, and there is number 1. Cooper Pratt is on the board. His first big league homer.
Yeah, first one called there, Brian Anderson and Brewers TV, as all these will be. That was awesome to just see Cooper Pratt get on the board. On top of that, Cooper Pratt also had a great game. So just starting to see the bat come alive. I don't know if you remember me saying this, Aaron, but I love to give receipts for myself, where I said any game that Cooper Pratt is playing and the Brewers still win, regardless of how he does, is a good game. Because that's why I wanted to bring these guys up, bring them up, bring Luis up, bring these guys up, because they need time. So just you have to give them at bats. You have to get them comfortable. You're not going to be able to bring these guys up in September and expect them to be exactly what you needed them to be in October. We're starting to see that with Cooper Pratt. He finally gets on the board with his first homer. That was awesome to see. Then we saw Andrew Vaughn finally get a home run hit again.
You said you had never been to Milwaukee until as Vaughn sends one left center, and it's gone! Oh my goodness! He's gone Hank Aaron on us. Andrew Vaughn, just his third of the year.
Bernie hits the slide. It's a 2-run home run.
That's great.
That Andrew Vaughn's home run is there talking to Miss Zarin there in the booth, and which was also awesome to see that interview celebrating the 50th anniversary, right? 50th anniversary of Hank Aaron's last homer in a Brewer uniform. So Andrew Vaughn back on the board. First time he had a home run since the Vegas series on June 8th. And we talked a little bit about this, about just, is that Andrew Vaughn needing to find his power again, or is that just opportunities and Murph needing to give him opportunities? Also, are we all in agreement that Vaughn and Bowers need to both be in the lineup?
Yeah, now with Sal Frelick hurt, it makes it a lot easier to do that.
Sure.
One less guy that they had to play, but Luis Lara is still there, and you would like him to get some at-bats or some more playing time, as you mentioned with Cooper Pratt. So you're going to have to find some other ways to do it. If that means less Christian Yelich at-bats throughout the rest of the regular season,
come on,
maybe
do we
that's
not
the
all
case.
know that's the answer?
Well,
and we just, it's the elephant in the room.
It's one of the answers. Otherwise, just play Jake Bowers in right field and continue to keep doing that. That's an answer as well.
We load managed through the All-Star break, Harrison and Miz. I think it's maybe if there was I think that there's fatigue with Christian Yelich. Oh, that would be great timing. I'm sorry to say it. I think that's where we're at. I think, and it might actually help Yelich on top of things. I just, right now, we need to get Vaughn going. We need to have Bauer stay consistent. We need both of those guys in the lineup. Give Yelich a break.
But you need Yelich to get going too, right? I mean, Yelich has to be good in order for them to be good.
But Yelich has been had way more playing time than Vaughn.
Right. No, I know, but
and that's not working.
But they can't ignore Yelich, I get. Like, he has to be good in order for them
now isn't the answer. Right? Giving him that playing time, giving him the reps hasn't equated to good at bats from Christian Yelich. So try something else. Sit him down, give him a break, and two birds, one stone. Give him a break, give Vaughn more opportunities. Maybe it fixes both. Who knows? Either way, good to see Vaughn get another ball out of the park. And then Joey O with a line drive home run.
And Ortiz down the left field line. It is up. It is out. Joey O. A line drive missile out of here. It's a 3-run home run. And the Brewers up 8-1 as Ortiz pops his 5th.
I don't know what changed with Joey O.
You know what changed?
What?
Cooper Pratt.
So you think it was just him moving to third?
Maybe. I mean, it coincides pretty well with Cooper Pratt showing up and Joey moving to third base.
I did not play professional baseball. I don't know how the mindset works in that way. Standing at a different base on defense, equating to hitting differently on offense. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
You still, stood in the batter's
Yeah.
box, whether you played shortstop or third. Listen, I'm not complaining about it. It's great. I'm surprised. This was kind of, I think, what we were hoping for and expecting out of Joey O to get better. I'm not saying that Joey O is great. I'm not saying that he is fantastic, but I think a lot of us a month or two ago were saying we need help on the left side of the infield. That is the biggest blemish for this Brewers team is shortstop, third base. They got to figure it out. Okay. They get Cooper Pratt. All right. We go, well, there's one of the problems. Now what are we doing at third base? Trade deadline. We got to go get a guy. We got to go get a power bat and put him at third base. Is anyone having that conversation now? Is Joey Ortiz not solidified himself as the everyday third baseman for this Brewers lineup? I think so. I think you're absolutely riding with Joey Ortiz right now. And I am absolutely fine if someone wants to make an argument against it. I understand that's his 5th home run, but you also look at the leaderboard for the Brewers and their home runs this season. It's not like you have a bunch of guys hitting 20 and then Joey O at 5. So I don't know exactly where Joey Ortiz has found power on top of just hitting in general, but he also isn't making errors in the at third base either. So defense staying consistent, offense getting better from Joey Ortiz, and now he's also hitting the ball out of the ballpark, which this team desperately needs to have more of a threat at the plate with power. I'm all about it, and I'm super happy for Joey Ortiz.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you why third base versus shortstop is the reason why he has a little bit more offense. I have no idea. Maybe it's something psychological for him, but I would be very interested. I'm trying to find the numbers. I'll look to see shortstop versus third base in his offense this year or in his career. I mean, it just feels like he is a much, much better hitter when he's at third base.
Now, keep in mind, on the season, he's batting .227. So,
listen,
it's still not 260. It's still not where you want him to be. But if he's making those improvements, to me, you're looking at the holes, right? We keep focusing on they're the best team in baseball. They've won 63 games. It's a franchise record for most wins in 100 games, right? We're looking at these numbers, and we're looking at Joey Ortiz, and I don't think we're focusing on that as a hole we need to fill. I think we're going, all right, Joey's getting better. We're good there. Let's go focus on pitching. Let's go focus on starting pitching. Let's go focus on this, that, and the other. I think we're good there. I would be very surprised if now they worried about getting another third baseman.
I think also with Joey Ortiz at third, I mean, it doesn't mean that you can't play him at short, right? Maybe this is just unlocking some offense for him. And let's say Cooper Pratt ends up struggling or gets hurt or whatever down the stretch, and Joey Ortiz moves back to shortstop. Maybe this third base offensive Joey Ortiz could continue over. Maybe he just needed to get himself in a groove. And also, when he was hitting 195, we were all saying, hey, just give us 220 and we're good with it, right? Like, if you're going to play great defense, just give us 220. We'll be good with it. Now he's hitting 227, and we're like, oh, if 260. I'm not saying that, you're being tough on him, but 260, I don't need 260 from Joey Ortiz. I'm good with 227. If he keeps doing this, 227, 225, whatever, 230, his career average 232, I don't need any more than that. 232 is cool with me.
Well, and the thing is that you also look at Garrett Mitchell's been super hot lately. Churio and Turang are doing their thing, and we've seen that decently consistently. I mean, obviously, we had Churio was out at the beginning of the year, and Turang had that slump. But for the most part, it seems like someone is on. Someone is figuring it out in those clutch opportunities, and that's how they found ways to win 63 games so far this season. It goes to the point, though, that we brought up at the beginning of the show of, are we enjoying that, though, or are we still focused on the Dodgers? We go to Bricky in 920 says, yeah, you guys, I have the same question. Yes, they are providing a summer of entertainment, but can they now provide a fall of entertainment by beating the Dodgers? That's Bricky. So a few things here. First, I think you made a really good point, Aaron, of saying, let's not get ahead of ourselves, right? Like, it very, very unlikely that the Brewers are playing the Dodgers immediately. It's probably going to be that the Dodgers are making it back to the championship series. So the Brewers would have to get there first. Even if they have the best record in baseball, we know from last year, you got to play the divisional series before you can get there. You just skip the wild card. So don't get ahead of yourself. It's still July, and we know we're not going to immediately have to get to the Dodgers. On top of that, Matt in Minneapolis says, I've been saying since last year that Yelich is our weak spot. He's not worth what we are paying him. He fell apart last year, and I think he will again this year. It's a very interesting situation with Yelich because he has slumped a lot more this season than I think he even did last season during the regular season. Last year, he had a great year. He just didn't have a great postseason. This season, it seems like he hasn't had a great period season. I also don't know that the Brewers are in a spot to where they have no choice but to bench him. if you had everyone else hitting, including your guys that you were bringing in off the bench or starting every fourth day that were also raking, then maybe you look at this and you go, I understand we have you on the billboards, bud, but we got to bench you. I don't think they're in that place, and I think that's why we can continue to see Christian Yelich. I'm just wondering, is there a way, do we think that there's a way to fix Christian Yelich that we're just not taking advantage of? When people say we have to bench him, are you saying that because you think he's done and we're not getting anything else out of Christian Yelich? Or are you saying that because you think that that's the key to helping him be of value the rest of the season? I think there's a big difference there.
He's definitely struggling in July. 186 batting average. We can all agree that's not very good. But since July 8th, and that's for 8 games since July 8th, he's only had one game where he hasn't collected a hit. Now, they're all one-hit games, but he's getting a hit in every game. So it's not like he's going 0 for 9, 0 for 12 at a time. And 4 out of the last 5 games, he has a double. So there's at least some power there. It's not home run power, but he is getting his extra bases over these last 5 games. So I think the disgust is probably a little too strong right now for Yelich. I'm not saying he's not playing well. Again, 186 in July. It's not fantastic, but Christian Yelich is still the leader of this team. And it's really, really hard to bench your leader and not have everyone else on the team kind of go, huh.
I'm wondering if a lot of the disdain we have for Christian Yelich currently is also because of that thing that you just mentioned, the power. Right now, he has 6 home runs?
6, yep.
On the year? He had 29 last year. I don't see him having 23 home runs in the next 60 some games.
What?
Yeah.
Come on, have some faith.
No, that would be an incredible run. So I'm wondering, though, to your point of if he's getting on base, if he's getting walks, if he's getting a hit, he's getting on base, and we're going, Christian Yelich isn't doing enough. Is it because we're looking at him to be a guy that he's not anymore, where maybe he has a role on this team? It's just not being that power, and that's what this team desperately needs, is a power bat, and we're just disappointed because we're not seeing it in Christian Yelich. I don't know. It's a good point. It's a good question to discuss. We're also going to discuss Freddie Peralta, who made his return to American Family Field yesterday, and he did not perform well. Yet many people still saying, I don't care how he's done this year or how he did against the Brewers in his return to American Family Field. I want him back in a Brewer uniform. Do you? We want your answer on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line, 414-677-1250. This is the Steve Zabin Show with Josh Albrecht. Zabe playing golf overseas. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We'll be right back. Hey, do you want to score free Wendy's Frosty Classics this summer? Well, when the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers, proud high A affiliate of the Milwaukee Brewers, record 10 strikeouts in a game, you can go to any Wisconsin Wendy's and get a free small Frosty Classic. Follow the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers on Twitter or Instagram as they post after every game with 10 strikeouts. This offer is good for 24 hours following the game. Welcome back to the Steve Zabin Show with Josh Albrecht. Zabe is out. We knew this was going to be. This isn't a surprise. He has a big golf trip that he does with some buddies every year. This year, I want to say, are in Ireland. I should be a better friend. I'm pretty sure it's Ireland. They're over there doing their golf thing. We, Aaron Morris and myself, are talking with you about the Milwaukee Brewers, specifically about Freddie Peralta, who made his return to American Family Field last night with the Mets and did not have a good night, Aaron. He did not have fun. He gave up 7 runs on 8 hits, 2 walks. He struck out 6 on 107 pitches. That's his stat line. And
shocked.
It brought up the conversation of, do we want Freddie Peralta? Is there a reason to bring in Freddie Peralta? You could also be commenting and watching us on the Growth Law video stream on Instagram Live, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook at WI Sports Radio. Injured Groth gets it. And we go there to read some of these. Micah Nelson on YouTube watching us says, hell no to Freddie. Who would you start him over? Miz, Harrison, Henderson, Drowan, Gasser, Sproat? I'm taking all these guys over Freddie. He isn't getting them over the hump. Fifth starter at best. Others saying no to 4-inning Freddie. Aaron, trademark registered, says, who can we cut? How many new people can we bring in? And are these the right people to be adding to the team right now? Last couple have been suspect. So that's the other thing that we look at here is that we just brought in Lance McCullers from the Astros, right? And he wasn't the other one. There was another guy.
Colton Gordon.
Correct, that we didn't see.
He's in the minors
as well. So they have a prospect along with a guy that started for the Astros. He came in relief yesterday. He did give up that run, but he went 3 innings. I'm looking at that and I'm going, okay, so there's an example of a guy that they got for really cheap, that they brought in, who's going to eat some innings, probably not be a huge part of this team in October. But looking at who the Brewers all have right now, I want to go back to that, what Mike and Nelson said on YouTube. Miz, Harrison, Henderson, Drowan, Gasser, Sproat. There's 6 guys. I agree with them. I don't think Freddie's starting over any of those guys, personally. Now, I have had a few people that have chimed in, and we want you to chime in as well on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250, that said, yeah, but we saw Freddie work with the Brewers. There's no saying that the pitching lab couldn't fix any problems he's having, or that there's just that dynamic between him and Contreras, and that having Contreras behind the plate for Freddie couldn't make something happen. Sure, maybe, but I'm not going to sit here and go, he's the magic answer. I feel like what we're trying to do right now is save Miz, Harrison, Henderson, Drowan, Gasser, Sproat. We like those guys. We at least like, for sure, I like 4 of those guys, for sure. Miz, Harrison, Henderson, Drowan, for me, have been outstanding throughout this season. So maybe you have Gasser and Sproat that you're throwing out there with the Freddie Peralta to eat up innings, to eat up starts, so that you're not wearing out those 4 guys I just named. But otherwise, I personally don't see any reason to have Freddie Peralta here. You're definitely not trading away a big piece for Freddie Peralta. You're just not.
Yeah, I'm curious what his market will be. I think I've seen some things, read some things that like he will be a coveted piece by by multiple teams. Like there's going to be multiple teams that want him, which will drive his price up. And I'm wondering how high that price is going to be for a guy that has been really bad this year, but has had a pretty good career overall and had a really good last season. Hasn't been that good in the playoffs. I think a 5.4 ERA last year, a 7.6 ERA. One of these years, like he just hasn't been great in the playoffs either. So I'm curious how teams are going to evaluate Freddie Peralta at this deadline?
I mean, so 4-4 says he'll probably get fired from the Mets anyway. That's not true. Think about all the players that the Brewers have picked up for cash considerations or, a deep down prospect because they had an off season last season, but looking at the seasons beforehand, they were great, right? You had one down season and the Brewers go, well, we can fix him, right? We're like a girl going, I know he's a bad boy, but I can fix him. I can make him right. We could be doing the same thing with Freddie Peralta. Obviously, you can't deny the numbers and the wins that Freddie put up for this team in 2025. I don't know that that's necessarily something that the Brewers wouldn't take a flyer on. My thing is that even at this point, even if they go and they get Freddie Peralta, if they get Freddie Peralta, I'm not going to be mad. How they use Freddie Peralta will be what decides if I get angry or not. You have good chemistry. I think bringing Freddie back when a lot of the guys on this team know Freddie, love Freddie. He was a good part of that locker room. That makes a big difference. That's absolutely fine. That's a good thing. Bring him back, right? Especially knowing you lost Woody for the season, which I didn't get to talk about, but I assume you guys handled pretty well on Monday, you and Tim Allen talking about Brandon Woodruff being out for the rest of the season and probably next season. Who knows what happens next for Woody. But having a familiar face like Freddie in that locker room would be great for this team. I'm all about it. I just don't want it to be we traded for Freddie because we know that he can be our second, third, or fourth starter on this team in the postseason. That's my only thing, is that I don't want it to be that. I want him to be an inning eater. I want him to be a leader for the young guys, and I want him to – that's essentially it. That's all I'm looking for. I don't even want him to be a bullpen guy. I don't know that I trust Freddie Peralta out of the bullpen. When was the last time Freddie pitched out of the bullpen?
I think, he did last year or 2 years ago in the postseason against the Mets in that postseason. Remember, he pitched that great eighth inning, and then they went to Devin Williams when that happened.
Oh, true.
Yeah,
sure.
he pitched that eighth inning, but he hasn't sensed that one inning. It's been a while.
Brad in the 414 said, I want us to get Peralta back at a discount rate, not only for his ability, but also to dunk on our former GM in Dave Stearns. Yeah, so I just I think that he's struggled enough. Stearns is not having a good time in New York. I mean, when you look at the expectations for that organization, I remember all of us going, oh boy, what happens now? What happens now? Now we lost the guy, and Matt Arnold just immediately was like, no, I was the guy. I'm still here. So I don't know that we need to dunk on him anymore. He's kind of going through it. I think we'll be absolutely fine there. 262 says, no, don't go get him. Don't mess with the Brewers' chemistry. Again, I get that, but I don't think that bringing back a familiar face like Freddie Peralta messes with the chemistry. I never heard one bad thing about him being in the locker room with the players. He'd been there a long time. I don't mind that veteran leadership in the locker room. I'm all about that. So for that reason, I'm there. 262 says, why can't Chris Hook do for Freddie what he did for Harrison? Have him change his pitching slot to more direct instead of the predictable sweeper wide right release. I got to say, I don't disagree. That could be the case. But also, how did that get that messed up that quickly? Right? Like, if you're the Mets, aren't you going, yeah, the Brewers pitching lab already figured this out. Just keep doing that.
Yeah, I don't know why teams do that. Like Freddie never threw that many sweepers or curveballs with the Brewers. I mean, in my memory of over and over after it wasn't working. I mean, the first 3 or 4 hits were all off the breaking ball. Stop throwing it.
Right, right. Then I think we found part of the problem, right? What happened to Fastball Freddie? Wasn't that the nickname for a reason? It wasn't Breaking Ball Freddie.
Yep.
For a lot of reasons. I still don't know that necessarily I see that.
It's like if you took Mizorowski and we're like, hey, throw some more curveballs.
Right.
Throw some more changeups.
Yeah, lay off of that 105 mile per hour heat. You probably don't need to focus on that as much. Yeah, I'm not sure that that's the case. I think this is an interesting one here. There were a few texts that came in talking about Wild Bill, William Contreras. One person here, let me see who this was. The 414 said, we still need a power bat. I'd say I'm looking at Contreras. Yeah, he might be a good catcher, but how many times has he come to bat with runners in scoring position or needing a run, and as soon as we see him, we go, oh, hell. How can you say that after the dude just hit a walk-off homer in the ninth? What an electric moment that was. I completely disagree with the 4-on-4 on this, but I do agree as I scroll back up here with a different 4-on-4 that said, I think Contreras is taking over as the leader of this team. The new face of the franchise, could you see that being Contreras over Yelich?
Nope. Not until Yelich is gone.
What about if Contreras, they made a big move and they signed Contreras to a long-term deal?
Not until Yelich is gone.
Doesn't matter. To me, I think the only reason why Contreras isn't there after everything that Contreras has done, all the moments we've had with him, the hanging up of the phone, all that other stuff, it's just because Contreras isn't going to be here for another 5 years.
Potentially. I mean, yeah, I just don't think anyone is going to take that mantle from Yelich. I think he just means so much to the guys in the locker room right now in terms of the way he's played throughout his career and what he's meant to this franchise over the last 8 years. No one's going to overtake Yelich in his wisdom. Like, same way that no one was going to overtake, like Miz isn't going to overtake Brandon Woodruff for his leadership of the pitchers.
You don't think that Contreras has been here long enough and made a big enough impact?
I don't see Contreras as that kind of leader. I think they're different styles for sure. I mean, Contreras definitely fires a team up and gets them motivated, but Yelich is a much different leader than William Contreras is. Maybe it's just me.
What kind of leader do you think Yelich is?
He is behind the scenes, like old man leadership type of, hey, this is how we do things. This is how we operate. This is how we win games. I think he's the calming presence of this team, the clubhouse, the locker room, the dugout, whatever it may be. He's the calming presence. He keeps everyone even keel.
Okay, but that's everything you just said about being a leader is a coaching role. Q on the YouTube stream says Yelich is there in spirit, but long out to pasture. Part of it is not just talking the talk, but walking the walk. You have these guys that are also trying to win.
But you need someone to talk the talk. You need someone who can do that.
I understand, but that's what I'm saying. Like, why isn't Contreras both? You don't think that Contreras is?
No, I'm not saying that Contreras isn't a leader. I think he is, but he's not the leader of the team. Like Christian Yelich is number one. He is the leader of the team behind Pat Murphy, obviously. But Contreras is a leader, definitely. But they go about it in different ways. And at least for me, I don't think William Contreras' leadership style is what I want in my number one leader of a baseball team. I would rather have what Christian Yelich has, and I think the Brewers would too. That's why Christian Yelich remains their leader, and it's not going to change until he's off the team.
I cannot disagree more with that take. Okay. I think that Contreras is absolutely proving himself, and I think at least from a fan base perspective, he would be that leader in the clubhouse, that face of the franchise that you would talk about if he signed a bigger deal. If we knew that he was going to be here long term and be that, and maybe you see a little bit of a changing.
Contreras is just more rah excitement, boost everyone, all the antic type of stuff, like get them motivated, boosted up in terms of that.
I think that
which you absolutely need.
I think we're still just focusing on Yelich from 2018, 2019. I think when we're looking at him as that face, that was 8 years ago.
Yes, but
we're the fans. Someone did that.
We're the fans.
At what point do we say, yeah, you're not that guy anymore?
We're the fans, though. What matters in the locker room is Yelich as the leader. It's completely different. We're not in the locker room. We don't know. Clearly, the guys in the locker room respect Christian Yelich at a very, very high level. And we are the fans. We don't see that. We only see the performance on the field, and the natural reaction is, well, that's Contreras because he does it all and he's exciting and he actually performs. But for the guys in the locker room, the clubhouse, Christian Yelich is by far the leader of this team.
Scotty Tiffany chimes in with what I think might be the text of the day. She says, she says, if we can't even have an emerging leader with Yelly there, then Yelly is even more detrimental to this team than I thought.
No, you can have more than one leader on a team.
Well, you just said that Contreras can't be the leader of this team.
He is not the leader.
He is a leader. Yelich is there.
He is a leader.
I think that's
he
crazy.
is not the leader. A leader. He's a different type of leader. He has a different role as a leader than Christian Yelich does. Christian Yelich isn't the rah-rah, pump everybody up guy. That's not what I'm saying. You can have multiple leaders on a team. If you don't have multiple leaders, you probably have an issue with your team. But I'm talking about if there is a hierarchy, if you're going leaders are a hierarchy, there is a hierarchy amongst your leaders. And Christian Yelich is number one in the leadership room. That leadership room probably includes Yelich, Woodruff, and Contreras. Those three.
You got to be able to practice what you preach, and we're not seeing that from Yelich.
No, but he's not preaching the, hey, let's hit some home runs and go rah-rah. Christian Yelich is preaching the, hey, this is how we operate on a baseball field as a franchise. This is how we win games. That is his role. Clearly, that's important to the team.
Okay. I mean, the answer is that they can both be leaders. Sure.
I agree. I'm not
100%.
saying, I'm not disagreeing with that.
I think that there is an argument that needs to be had at some point of why is Christian Yelich still the face of the franchise? Why is that still the case?
Because he should be.
That's an argument for a different day. Maybe we get into that tomorrow. The biggest thing is that I don't think that Freddie Peralta needs to be a part of this team. But if Matt Arnold can make David Stearns walk this back enough to have egg on his face and go, yeah, okay, you won that trade and this piece didn't work with us. Here you go. We'll take a flyer on some guy in single A. I'm all for it. Let's see what he can do. And at the very least, he can eat up some games and go out there and pitch 7 innings. More of your texts and thoughts on the other side when we return to the Steve Zabin Show with Josh Albrecht. We are live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Hey, you can join Mitch Thunder Nellis and the leadoff show at Explorium Brew Pub in the 3rd Ward tomorrow at noon before Milwaukee plays the Mets. Then hang out and watch the game while Mitch broadcasts the Mason Crosby Show till 2 p.m. on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Welcome back to the Steve Zabin Show with Josh Albrecht. Zabe out on vacay today through the rest of the week. We are glad that you are with us. Aaron Morse, of course, alongside, joining me. Having a conversation about, I think we're all kind of in agreement on where we are with Freddie, right? The only reason you bring Freddie back is if the price is right. Otherwise, yeah, we don't need him. That kind of had us spin off. I don't even know, honestly, Aaron, how we got here. Talking about Christian Yelich, though. I think it was, people were just talking about Contreras, and then that led to Yelich and looking at opportunities for people like Vaughn and getting more at bats for some of these guys. Going, what's happening with Yelich? Is Yelich still the face of the franchise? That's the big question that we've gotten to here. We go back to the text line, talking text line, Nicolay Law, fan talking text line. Matt in Minneapolis says, the reason people like Yelich is because they like him. He doesn't help the team win anymore. No other team wants him. There is a reason he is past his prime. These leadership arguments for guys that are just bad is only a take so you can keep a washed-up player. If Yelich was on a different team and the Brewers had just traded for him, fans would lose their minds because he isn't good. That from Matt in Minneapolis. Now, on the other side, we have the 608 here who says, I mean, what are we doing here? Yelich is the longest-term guy, has won an MVP, has never once complained about MKE or given slights or shots at the Brewers about who they sign or release. He is and has been the most consistent Wisconsin player. Look at Rodgers, Favre, Giannis, Braun, anyone. Yelich has always been about the team, and that's why he's the face of the Brewers and should be. So a few different arguments, I guess, going into it. I think that looking at what he has been for the team absolutely is part of it. If the Brewers for any way, shape, or form would have just traded for Yelich, I agree with Matt. There's no way we're going, oh, we got Christian Yelich? Let's go. We're going to be able to turn things around. This guy was a stud 8 years ago. Like, I don't think anyone's having. We're looking at what his whole body of work when we're judging Christian Yelich. I mean, if anyone disagrees with that, I don't know how you have an argument.
Yeah, I'm not ready to bench. I don't think he's been bad enough to bench him. That's where I'm sitting. It's not like they have any like fantastic options on the bench waiting to replace him.
I just think that I don't see a disadvantage right now of giving him a break.
Sure, he can have a few games off, but I'm not benching him. I'm not playing Luis Lara every day over him.
If you gave him 2 weeks off,
no, too long.
Too long. What's the right amount? 3 days?
Yeah.
Keep in mind, what do they only have, like 6 off days left for the rest of the year? I'm just saying, I don't think that it's a bad idea to give Yelich a break, see if that time off fixes anything for Yelich, and you're giving Vaughn more at-bats in the meantime. I don't think that's a bad thing.
Christian Yelich has also had 4 doubles in the last 5 games. So
yeah. Well, and you said he's been getting 1 hit.
Yeah.
But it also hasn't been bloop singles.
Yeah, would we like absolutely more than 1 hit on average a game? Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about it. But it's not like he's 0 for 16 in his last 5 games.
And I can't stress this enough as we wrap things up here, that these are the conversations we're having about a team that is the best team in baseball, 63 wins. They've won 4 in a row, and they just beat Freddie Peralta, who they traded for. They crushed him. They had 8 runs in that game, 3 home runs in that game. We're having these conversations because clearly Brewers fans want more. They want more this season. We are not in this season for a summer of entertainment. We got so close last year against the Dodgers, making it to the championship series, and we're saying, this is fun. I need more. There will be more of the Steve Zabin Show with Josh Albrecht following the Wisconsin Sports Wake Up Call on your radio tomorrow. 9 to noon with John Kuhn, Rami Makloff, and Brandon Snide coming up next. Thanks again to Rami Makloff for joining us on a Top 3 Tuesday from the Wisconsin Sports Wake Up Call. And thank you for joining us all here as well. We are live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We'll do it all again tomorrow because we are not done yet.